What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Appreciate you guys tuning in to today's episode of what this unhinged breakdown is going to be. I had to do it. I didn't have a choice. Okay, this is an issue that we've been having as Padres fans for a long time, specifically with Blake Snell. Okay, a lot of people around Major League Baseball know Blake Snell as the guy who was on the Rays, got traded to the Padres, he won a Cy Young, and then everyone else doesn't really think much of it, right? And you're like, oh, let's talk about the Padres rotation. They're so good. They're so nasty. They got Darvish. They got Musgrove. They got Snell. No. Blake Snell should not be anywhere near any sort of conversation when you're talking about nasty or dominant starting pitchers. He used to have that tag. He no longer has that tag. And that's no disrespect to a guy like Blake Snell. And that's why this video and this whole saga with Blake Snell and the Padres is so incredibly frustrating as a Padres fan. And honestly, you don't even have to be a Padres fan, just somebody who appreciates somebody who's talented on the baseball field. And in the case of Blake Snell, the guy throws incredibly hard, has two or three or maybe even four secondary pitches to come off his fastball. He's left-handed. He throws mid to upper 90s with his fastball. He has the repertoire, clearly, from what we saw back in his peak days in Tampa Bay, to be a Cy Young candidate. The problem is, to be an effective pitcher, have to throw the ball over the plate. And for some reason, people around the sport, like I mentioned previously, talking about the Padres, and they're like, oh, they got Blake Snell. Oh, they have that former Cy Young Award winner, Blake Snell. And it just seems to like go by the wayside. People just don't seem to realize, I think, when they discuss a guy like him, specifically Blake, how he has completely lost all ability to command the strike zone on a consistent basis. And that's what's happened to Blake Snell. Since his days in Tampa Bay to today, he has completely lost all confidence, all conviction, and seems to almost be just going through the motions in a lot of ways on the mound. So what I've done here is I've put together some clips from just today's start against the New York Mets, where he pitched 5 innings, 6 base hits, 5 walks, and he only completed 5 innings and threw 100 pitches. So you do the quick math there. 5 innings, 100 pitches. That's 20 pitches an inning. That's above league average. 5 walks in 5 innings. That's a walk per inning. 6 hits in 5 innings. That's more than a hit an inning. And that makes his walks plus hits divided by innings pitch, aka his WHIP, over 2, which is not good at all, especially considering this is a guy who, like I said 4 times already, won a Cy Young. Anyways, this is a clip today, okay? I want you guys to go through and we're going to watch this clip together, and you tell me what is glaringly obvious about this entire sequence.
Hitting up in the order in today's to McNeil. Whoa. Runner goes, and the pitch is high. This is Cannon. Base percentage at 360.
All over there.
Been really good. Runner goes, and the pitch inside. Throw down. Marte with Grisham. Well into right.
300, middle in, belt buckle high.
Lonzo singled in the first, fly to right in the.
Well, this is Snell's guy. A little scouting report, a little refresher course, maybe just to calm him down a little bit. This is a big inning for Blake Snell, no matter how long he stays out there, to hold the Mets at 3.
Runner goes. Phan will take a ball, and the throw is going to be late. Stolen base number 3 of this game for the Mets.
So I'm sure, as you guys probably noticed, there's a pretty obvious and common pattern in the sequence of pitches that I just chose to put together from this outing from Blake Snell today. Okay. 5 innings pitched for Blake. This is against the Mets today, specifically. 5 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 walks. That puts his WHIP over 2. That's a walk an inning. That's over a hit an inning. It's not good. And what's frustrating mostly is that it appears to be a consistent and repeated problem that doesn't seem to be addressed. The broad spectrum problem in this situation is, of course, the lack of command, the balls being thrown, the inability to work more efficiently or at least at an efficient enough clip with pitches to get through 5 or 6 innings. So as we go through these pitches here, okay, it becomes incredibly frustrating as a Padres fan, as a baseball fan, as a fan of good pitching, especially when you look at a guy like Blake Snell and the talent that he has. Okay. Starling Marte in the bottom of the first inning already gave up a leadoff hit to Brandon Nimmo. Okay. So you would think he'd want to get ahead and execute a nice, well located fastball, get through the baseball, reach a little bit further, knowing that this has been an issue for him in the past. Nola wants this pitch up and in to Marte, right where his mask is located. Maybe he wants it down and in, actually. Either way, there's nothing about the setup, target, location of Austin Nola behind the plate that indicates he wants this ball at the top of the zone or above the zone. Doesn't matter. Blake Snell misses high, and it's ball one. The next pitch, instead of making an adjustment, Snell goes back to it. Same setup from Nola. Probably wants it up and in again as a fastball. What does Snell do again? Misses up again, and now it's 2-0 on Marte. Okay, so he's missed up twice already in this first inning. Later in the inning, after he walks Marte because he fell behind 2-0, and he's now thrown 11 pitches, hasn't recorded an out, and it's first and second with the 3-hole hitter up, Lindor comes to the plate, and he gets ahead of him 0-1. What does he do? Instead of locating that fastball up and in right on Nola's mask where he wants it, he misses up and away, and it's a little bit arm side. Lindor is able to lay off of it because it's not quite as tempting as it would have been, or probably wouldn't have done as well for Snell if he would have executed it up and in. It's now 1-2 on Lindor in the same at bat, and I can understand, he wants to go back up and in with the fastball. What does Snell do? He misses way up, way up, and it's just not even competitive. Yeah, Lindor gives it like a little flinch, but he was never going to swing at that pitch. It's an uncompetitive pitch. And that's where the issues start to arise for a guy like Blake Snell, specifically with what he's been dealing with over the last 2 years with the Padres. His inability to get through innings efficiently, execute pitches, throw competitive enough pitches to get swings and misses, because that's all you want as a pitcher. A lot of strikeouts come on balls down in the dirt, on balls right at the top of the zone, maybe even a little above the zone. But when they're located right there, that's not competitive. It's not competitive. That is 2 feet above the strike zone at his eyes, and he's never going to swing at that. And all that turns into is an entirely wasted pitch. And not only that, but now in this situation specifically, it evens the count on a 3-hole hitter with 2 guys on base and 0 outs. It's tough to watch, okay? He actually ends up striking out Lindor on the next pitch, and this is now later in the inning. 2 outs, still the bottom of the first, 2-2 count to Jeff McNeil at the plate. He's thrown 24 pitches. He's recorded 2 outs, and the bases are loaded, okay? 2-2 pitch. It looks like Nola's set up high and away here, wants to get a McNeil working underneath it a little bit, potentially pop it up or swing and miss. What does he do? His arm's late to get up again. Ball comes in, and it's high. Yeah, again, McNeil flinches, but it's a relatively easy take because that's 8 or 9 inches above the strike zone, and he's now pushed the count full from 2-2 to 3-2. Luckily for Blake Snell, he works his way out of it. He gets through that inning because McNeil grounds out. And now we move on to the second inning. Here he is again with a runner on first base in the bottom of the second. 1-0 count already on Eduardo Escobar, and he's thrown 30 pitches. And how many outs has he recorded? 3. Got it. 10 pitches per out. That's not good. Okay? He's got a guy on first. He's already down 1-0, like I said. Eduardo Escobar at the plate. And as you'll be able to see here very quickly, it appears that the plan of attack against Eduardo Escobar, specifically as a hitter, is to pitch him hard and up. And that's fine. Okay? I can totally understand that from a pitcher's perspective. That, that's where we want to go with this guy. We want to throw him fastballs up in the zone, potentially right above the zone, because he can't get to it. He struggles with it, whatever the case may be. When you're down 1-0, you want to execute this pitch right at what appears to be just above the belt line for a guy like Eduardo Escobar, which is the upper part of the zone. What does Snell do? He misses up and about 6 or 8 inches above the zone. Now, Escobar thought about this, wanted it. Clearly, again, like I said, with the plan of attack, this is a pitch that Escobar maybe goes after a lot of times. But in this case, he takes it. It's now ball 2. Then he's worked it to 2-1. And it looks like Nola wants this pitch up and away, potentially, to Escobar. Right there is at least where the glove's set up. 2-1. Where does Snell throw it? Up. Again, misses his spot up above where he wants it by another 8 to 10 inches. Okay. Now it's 3-1 on Escobar. I think he gets Escobar to fly out. Or he must have, right? Because it's now 1 out, runner on first. Still the bottom of the second. And he has Thomas Nido at the plate, a 150 career hitter, and he's got him 0-2. He's worked the count to an 0-2 count, a favorable count, an incredibly favorable count as a pitcher. Okay. And I also understand, like, you want to talk about this batter, this situation specifically on 0-2. A lot of times we talk about, right? Oh, pitcher's going to waste a pitch. Okay, that's fine, right? Typically they bounce a breaking ball. And if they do throw a fastball up, it's like right at the letters or maybe like even a little bit above that because it looks tempting for a hitter. Maybe you get a cheap swing and miss or a pop-up or something on 0-2. But you don't want to throw a pitch on 0-2 that's hittable in a lot of cases. Now, guys have different philosophies on it. Some guys want to throw it in the zone. They want to be competitive and catch a guy off guard. There's a lot of ways you can go about executing an 0-2 pitch. One way you don't go about executing an 0-2 pitch is doing this. I mean, like, what is that? What is that pitch? I mean, it almost gets by Nola. It almost gives him a free base to second base. And Nido never thought about it. In fact, he couldn't because he was too busy, like, getting out of the way of it almost. Now it's 1-2. Completely wasted pitch. Completely wasted pitch. And that seems to be a common thing with a guy like Blake Snell. And again, the most frustrating part about all of it is that Snell is so incredibly talented. He throws so hard. He's lefty. He's got a bunch of different breaking balls and off-speed pitches that are very effective when they are located properly. Okay? Wasted pitch there. This is now the bottom of the second still. 2 outs. He's at 41 pitches, and he's got Brandon Nimmo at the plate. 1-2 count. What does he want to do here? It looks like Nola sets up and wants this one, I'm guessing, at the bottom of the zone based on his setup here. Maybe he wants it up and away right at his mask where he's leaning towards or preparing to catch it. Where does Snell miss? Way up and above the zone. And on top of it, Snell is super slow to home plate. And guess what? Free stolen base. It's just a free stolen base for Tommy Pham. Okay? That's the other issue with Snell specifically. And then you combine it with a guy like Austin Nola behind the plate for the Padres, who's not quick, doesn't have a good arm. It's a recipe for teams to have a track meet out on the field. The guy's not throwing strikes. They're not competitive. Catcher's slow to get rid of the ball. Catcher doesn't have a great arm. And then you start to compound these things on top of each other over and over and over and over and over. Snell can't throw strikes. He works slowly. He's uncompetitive with his pitches. Then your defenders are sitting in the field going, man, my feet feel like they are cement blocks right now because this guy is brutal to play behind. Now, again, I know Blake Snell is not trying to do this. I understand that. Okay. But when this type of stuff happens over and over and over again, it's incredibly frustrating to watch. And this is exactly what happened to him. He came from Tampa Bay, wasn't doing these types of things, came to San Diego, and all of a sudden, I don't know what if he made a mechanical adjustment or whatever, but it's just very apparent and very clear that his arm is just simply late to get to the spot. Here's an 0-1 pitch to Mark Canha in the bottom of the third. 1 out, nobody on base. Maybe he'll get 1, 2, 3. He wants it up and in. This is where Nola wants it. He wants it at the top or even slightly above the zone. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. But when you want it there and it comes in a little bit higher than that, it's an easy take for Canha because at that point, that is too high. That's too high. Okay? Same batter, 3-1 count. Nola wants it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Down and away? Arm side miss, not even close. Ball 4. There goes the clean 1, 2, 3 inning. Next pitch. The next pitch to Jeff McNeil. Nola wants this one down and in. He wants this one down and in. Where does Snell miss? 1.5 feet above the zone. There's no adjustment. And that's why it's incredibly frustrating. And this video, I hope, can serve for you guys as an understanding as to what the hell happened to Blake Snell. You want to know what happened? This. I don't know what you call this. I don't know if you call it like I don't know, lazy or lack of focus or whatever. And I don't want to call Blake Snell those names or those things because I don't think he is those things. But it's hard to explain how a guy goes from a Cy Young caliber pitcher to this situation where he throws back-to-back pitches. One 1.5 feet outside the top of the zone and another one 1 foot above the zone. His arm's just not getting to the spot. Uncompetitive. Same batter, Jeff McNeil, 2-1 count, runner on first. There goes Canna. He misses arm side again. McNeil has to get out of the way, and because he's slow to the plate and Nola can't throw, he's safe again. Another stolen base. It's a track meet, and it's uncompetitive pitches over and over and over and over and over again. Fast forward to the bottom of the 4th inning. 2 outs. Has an opportunity to get through an inning. 1, 2, 3. Finally. Still a little bit kind of dicey, though, because he's about to throw his 70th pitch, and he hasn't finished 4 innings yet. 0-1 pitch. Let's attack. Let's throw this ball to top of the zone, right into Nola's glove, and let's get 2 strikes on this guy. Where does he throw it? Misses arm side again. Not arm side enough to plate. It's just from where the spot was to where he ended up throwing it. It's arm side. It's up. It's not competitive. Easy take for a guy like Brandon Nimmo. Okay? Bottom of the 5th. Marte at the plate. 1-1 count. 2-2 is now the score. 73 pitches through 4 innings for Blake Snell. Marte at the plate. Here comes the 1-1. Misses arm side. And now Nola is just begging, just trying to drag it in. So bad. I mean, a horrible frame job. What is this? If an umpire sees your glove moving that much, you're never going to get the call. Never. Okay? This is, of all the pitches we've shown, this one's probably his best miss, if you will, because it's not far off the zone. It looks like he wanted it up and away, and he probably missed it by about 4 or 5 inches. That's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Okay? He gets Marte. Now he's on to Lindor in the bottom of the 5th. 1-2 count. Here we go again. He wants to elevate. He wants to locate a high fastball on a 2-strike count, advantage pitcher count. Keep something right at the top of the zone, enticing enough for Lindor to offer at it potentially, or if he does get to it, he hits it straight up in the air. What does he do? Arm side. Arm side, arm side, arm side, and up. Arm side and up. Arm side and up. Arm side and up. He's so late to get his arm up. And yet again, it's just a wasted pitch. It's a wasted pitch for Blake Snell. Arm side and up. Lindor's like, easy. All right, and now it's 2-2. Will he go back to the fastball? Will he throw a breaking ball? I don't know. It doesn't seem like he's got great fastball command. Just gives the hitters a better opportunity. He gets Lindor out. Great. Awesome. Polar Bear Pete at the plate. First pitch of the at-bat. Up and away. Arm side. Misses again. Okay. Now, this is the part that is maybe the most frustrating of all of it. He's got 95 pitches. He hasn't even recorded an out in the 6th inning. I believe this guy that's on first base was McNeil, and I want to say it's a leadoff walk. The Padres have Brent Honeywell getting loose in the bullpen, and I played this part out for you earlier in the video. If you didn't hear it, go check it out. It's a mound visit situation for Ruben Niebla, the Padres pitching coach. He comes out, he goes, listen. All right, you got a guy up right. Actually, I don't think it is because I think this is McNeil hitting right now. Is this McNeil hitting? Oh, no, it's Tommy Pham. So it was Jeff McNeil hitting 5th. He came back out for the 6th inning just to get Jeff McNeil out. Like, that was like basically it. But then the Padres took a chance. They kind of looked at it and were like, well, now the Mets are 7, 8, 9, right? You got Pham. I don't know who's 8-hole. It might be Nito. Nito's 8 or 9. It doesn't. The point is that they're not like offensive threats that Snell couldn't just potentially just overpower because he's good enough with his stuff. He's good enough to just overpower these guys very easily if he just executes pitches. Niebla comes out after the leadoff walk to the lefty that Blake Snell was out there to face and goes, you know what? We're going to stick with you, man. Let's go. Execute your pitches. Snell and Austin Nola are like, let's miss arm side here. What do you say? Let's miss arm side and let's let him steal second base. Misses arm side on the first pitch. The first pitch after a mound visit. He misses arm side. First of all, before we even get to the stolen base that you see coming here, that's inevitable and easy to predict. How do you get a mound visit from a pitching coach and have a guy Nola set up what appears to be I mean middle, I guess. No glove target, nothing there. And he misses arm side. This pitch, just in the case of pitches to throw on as a catcher, it's perfect. The perfect pitch. Right-handed batter, ball's a little bit off the plate. He's got time to gather, he's got time to get to it and throw. And McNeil is like way, way, way safe. Like way safe. Super way safe. So he walks the leadoff guy, he gets a mound visit, and what does he do immediately after the mound visit? He's a 1-9 to the plate, misses arm side, and lets up a stolen base. I mean, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? It's incredibly frustrating, man. This is the unhinged part that I talk about. Okay, now when we move forward here in this video, as they go stolen base or whatever, this is a video from Blake Snell throwing a bullpen before one of his starts against the Angels, I think last year, right? And you can tell from the way Snell, his motion is, okay? His entire delivery and execution of pitches is dependent upon if he can get his glove with his arm swing out of the glove and up and on time. Okay. And we'll watch a couple pitches here. But when you can see when Snell breaks, as is the case with a lot of guys, the first movement he goes is down and around. Down and around with the ball hand. Totally fine, not a problem. Then he loads the scap with the back elbow, gets his arm up, and this from here looks like it's on time and it's relatively, normal. And then the key for Snell is that he has to get that release point right there out and on time over his front leg and get the ball out. That pitch right there, that pitch, up and in fastball to a righty, up and away to a lefty, that's where he wants to go with almost all those pitches I showed you guys. So he can do it. He can do it. He can get to that spot very, very easily. Okay, as we fast forward here, Snell gets in the bullpen. Now, again, this is before the pitch clocks. This was last year, but he wants to throw a little slider. Okay, let's just go. Slider is important, right? I mean, it's the same idea as the fastball. If you want to execute it, you're going to have to get through it. You're going to have to reach out a little bit. Snell comes through his delivery. Again, long arm swing, and that's okay. You get your arm up, you execute, and you reach, and you throw a perfect slider. Perfect. This is a perfect pitch. If you throw this to a righty, there's nobody on the planet that makes hard contact with that pitch and puts it in play. That pitch right there is either a take for a ball, which is fine because it's competitive. It's chopped on the left side from a lefty or from a right-handed batter. He's pulling it on the left side on the ground. A left-handed batter is swinging and missing, or he's yanking it, dribbling it foul, and a right-handed batter, most likely scenario, he's hitting that ball 130 miles an hour off his shin. Okay? It's a great pitch. And so my point is, as we go through this bullpen video, is that clearly he's capable of doing it. He can do it. We saw it in Tampa Bay. He can do it. And right here, he's like kind of quick to the plate. It's pretty slow. It's pretty slow. But the point is, he's in his pen, and look, he goes through, he's like, all right, he's got to get his, this right here shows me he knows he's got to get his arm out of the glove because he misses up with a breaking ball right here, right? Was it a curveball? Is that what he called? Or is it a changeup? Let's see. Slider or curveball, something like that. It's a breaking ball that he wants to go same pitch and throw it down and in, misses a little up with it, and you see him go like this, like get your arm out, get it up on time. That's what that means, okay? One more pitch here out of this bullpen for Blake Snell. Goes fastball. He wants to throw it up and in. He likes that spot. Boom. And even that right there, he missed, let's say, down. It's a perfect pitch. Perfect pitch, down and in. And he misses down and in. I'd rather you miss there than miss arm side a foot and a half above the zone. Now, the last thing we'll cover and we'll talk about here as we look at Blake Snell's profile page, whatever you might call it on the Padres roster. It's got some advanced stats, and these are his game logs. Okay. Like I said today, he pitched 5 innings, 6 hits, 5 walks, 100 pitches, and he completed 5 innings. 100 pitches. It's 20 an inning, man. Let's go back through here. 3.2 innings, his last outing against the Braves, and he threw 88 pitches in 3 1/3. 4 walks, 6 hits, 4 earned runs. His first start against the Rockies, 4 1/3, 93 pitches. Only 1 walk, but 6 hits. Uncompetitive. Deep counts. All the stuff that you want to avoid as a pitcher, he's doing it. Right? And if you go back even last season, 2022, and you look at game logs, didn't pitch until May. His first outing, 3 2/3, 84 pitches. His next outing, 5 innings, 104 pitches. All right, going through here, 4 innings pitched, 95 pitches. 95 pitches, 4 innings pitched. 4 2/3, 90 pitches. 3 2/3 in Colorado, 99 pitches. 3 1/3 in August, 80 pitches. Starts to get it figured out a little bit in September, and then that's when we see the good Blake Snell. Because guess what? He starts to execute pitches. He cuts down on the walks. Look at that. Not a lot of walks. 13 strikeouts because he's around the zone. 2 hits in 7 innings against the playoff team, the Cardinals. Those 117 pitches. So he can do it. He can do it. I want him to do it. I hope he can do it. But the point of this video and this Unhinged breakdown was to show you guys what happened to Blake Snell, why he's not the same guy anymore, and how I think he can fix it, which is just focusing on the arm side. I don't know if it's a target-related thing with Nola. I don't know if it's mechanical. I don't know if he changed anything, but it's an apparent and repeated issue that has to be fixed. Otherwise, Snell's just going to go out time and time again, not get through 5, throw 100 pitches, and put the Padres bullpen in a terrible position again. And he's never going to get back to the point where he wins a Cy Young or he's even competing for a Cy Young. Right? As we go through his Baseball Savant page. I love this website if you guys haven't seen it. Right? His 2023 percentile rankings. He's given up a lot of hard hit balls. His expected ERA is low because he's walking tons and tons of dudes. His strikeout percentage is pretty good because when he throws balls over the plate, he strikes a lot of guys out. Walks a ton of guys. Has great spin rate on his fastball. Has great velo on his fastball. Has great extension on his fastball. And he still can't get the ball above the zone. Or into the top of the zone, I should say. It's incredibly, incredibly frustrating. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think is maybe the definitive answer or an answer at least you guys have had a lot of success with maybe, or you know about, or you've heard about, or I don't know. Okay. I hope Blake Snell comes out of this. I hope he can learn. It just doesn't seem like he is. And that's why it's mostly frustrating because it seems like he just does the same thing over and over and over and over again. Same thing. And it's like, dude, you clearly have an issue. You're clearly not releasing the ball in a spot that's going to allow you to execute at the top of the zone. Whether that means he needs to make a tweak, whether that means he needs to slow his entire delivery down to allow his arm to gather up behind his head and get out in front over the top. But his extension's excellent on Baseball Savant. So I don't know. All I'm saying is this is the Unhinged breakdown for today's outing and the outings moving forward. Hopefully he can pick this up. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Be sure to like the video if you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel. And catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.